And that was Welcome to My Church. And that is just a great tune and has done real well for us. And I am just tickled pink, man, to be welcoming Fernando Perdomo. That's the correct pronunciation, is it not?
Just change the last O to an O, so it's Perdomo.
Perdomo. Okay. Well, I have been mistakenly pronouncing your name all wrong for, I think it's been we've been tracking for 2 years now. I think we're coming up on.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's actually a common name in Cuba, but there's actually a big cigar company that I have nothing to do with called Perdomo Cigars. But and there's a baseball player, there's a photographer, there's a mumble rapper in Brazil. I think also like one of the head ups in Colombia has the last name too. But it's a cool name, and I've always kind of liked the fact that my name and my last name are all in the same iambic pentameter, so it's kind of fun.
That's it, man. That is it. I think I just closed me out here on the video. Let me see if I can find you. There you are. Okay. Well, Fernando, welcome anyway, man. And I know it's 9 in the morning there. I know you keep some of the most ridiculous, goofy hours.
Well, no, thanks to daylight savings time, I've been getting up really, really early because the daylight starts early, and I cut through my window, and I just, I take it as a little extra time because I've got a client coming over at 1, and I get plenty of time to work on my own things. I just did a cover of a song for Chasm Sultan of Utopia's birthday, and I just recorded that and sent it over to him for him to check out before I unleash it on the world. But I as an owner of a studio, we met because of the services I provide, but I also like to do my own things. And
right, well, you got lots of your own things up there. We've got the link to all your stuff, so Spotify and for sure website.
I like photography. The way I look at it is that this music is gonna outlast us all, so we might as well make most of it. I know you are, and being prolific is a gift. Some people have really bad blockages, whether it's whether it's a writer's block or lack of inspiration, or worse, just the inability to release, which is something that I have to deal with as a producer.
Right.
I deal with every type of client, and I have clients that are like immediately putting stuff on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, and I have clients that like a year later I'm like, hey, whatever happened to that project we did? And they'll be like, oh, I just listened to it again and it's really good, so I might release it soon. And I'll be like, it's interesting because look, I'm not one to tell someone what to do with their material, but I actually personally think that nothing's ever gone gold sitting on a hard drive. Right. Nothing's ever covered that's been held on, and don't let the songs die. If you happen to go, make your songs available so that your legacy does live on, because really when it comes down to it, us musicians, our service is to provide this incredible music for generations to come.
It's funny.
Today is December 8th. Yeah. Well, today's December, the 42nd anniversary of John Lennon's untimely passing. And talk about a guy who, he worked hours before he was killed. He was literally holding master tapes from a recording session. It's like, man, I mean, that's exactly the way to go. If you're making music, and this music that's going to last forever, because when it comes down to it, I think people are going to be listening to the Beatles 2,000 years from now, in the same way that people are still studying. People are still reading the words from 2,000 years ago in the Bible. I think 2,000 years from now, people are still going to be listening to Revolver and going, "Wow, that's cool."
Yeah. We were. I was talking to Ulrich Ellison out of Turkey, who also lays tracks, and it's really a reoccurring theme that we all really do feel that way. I mean, this is eternity. And like you said, to address one of the things you said, and especially for young artists out there, or anybody really that does something and creates something. I know people that paint and they don't ever let anybody see their work, or they do this. But when it comes to music, this lives forever, as long as the planet's still here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I tell them, you know, they'll say they won't release their stuff, and even worse than not is they don't release. To me, they don't release and then let anybody know. They think they become disappointed because their tracks get no traction, or their music gets no traction, but they didn't really let anybody know, because, you know, if you don't, then it's the forest and the tree thing, right? If nobody's in the forest to hear the tree fall, did it make a sound?
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Totally.
so
I mean,
you're the one thing that I want you to know something. You very early on, and I know we have, so people understand, the bootleggers musicians, when you go to meet the bootleggers, the people who have participated, the singers, the writers, the producers, are all listed on our website. As you know, Fernando, I asked your permission to do that because I want people to know this is global. You know, I'm talking to Ituna Joe, one of the guys who plays most of our drum tracks when you don't play the drum tracks. Because Fernando is, my God, he plays everything, and he's a crushing drummer, a crushing guitar player, just all these things. But we've got people in Nigeria, I've got people in Serbia, we've got people in Russia, we've got people everywhere, and that's why I'm so excited to have you here. But I want to tell you a story real fast. When I started producing music again, it was with the understanding of I was only tracking to leave behind for my children music. You were the first person that I reached out to for guitar, electric guitar, and the words you wrote about the song were amazing to me. You inspired me. I think, and I'm gonna, go ahead.
I was listening, whether I'm, you know, whether I'm producing an artist or whether I'm playing on tracks, I always give the song the same amount of respect I would give my own. And I'm always listening, I'm always trying to get inspired. And you know, I work on a lot of tracks, and your stuff has got so much heart. Everything that you do has is all coming from the heart and has so much emotion and soul. And that song moved me, man. You know,
I'm telling you right now, I'm actually, I'm going to have to paraphrase, but your words, because I did my research on you, and you're very talented, and you're very gifted in all the instruments that you play and the things you do. And your words were, and I'm going to paraphrase, and I'm not saying this for an accolade to myself, but you inspired me. You said, this is the best. It was like, this is the best track I've worked on since being online. It was something like that. There were more words to it. And it wasn't the words, it was the inspiration you gave me, because there were other words there. And I should have actually pulled that up, because I wanted to sincerely thank you for that, because it made me realize, you know, yeah, they did mean something. The words did mean something. The song did mean something.
Oh, well, man, I mean, look, I mean it from the heart.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on with you right now, yourself. I want everybody to know you just opened up your studio last January-ish.
For those don't know who I am, I'm a guitar player, but I'm also a studio owner and multi-instrumentalist. I run a studio called Stairway Studios, which is in North Hollywood, and basically, I do a lot of production work. I also do a lot of guitar, bass, drum tracks, keyboard tracks. I've done some stuff for TV and film. I just did a music soundtrack last year for a movie called Frost. I actually just started working with a label called Cleopatra as one of their house producers, and I've done 2 projects. I've got 2 projects in the works right now. I'm best known as a guitar player who played in a movie called Echo in the Canyon with Jakob Dylan, and Fiona Apple, and Beck, and Brian Wilson, and Neil Young, Clapton, and I'm also currently the touring guitar player for Marshall Crenshaw. But yeah, I run the studio, and I as with everybody with the pandemic, I had to find other ways of making income. I signed up for this thing called Fiverr Pro, and that's how I met you, because I was started sending tracks all over the world. And it's great because I get to work with people that I might not ever meet. There's some people in Japan and in China and in, Croatia, Israel. Now hopefully I get to meet them one day, but it's fun to meet people musically too.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's a lot.
That's why I wanted to do these. That's why I wanted to do this series, because it is great to meet people through whether it's email, text, whatnot, but to actually see their face, to actually talk to them is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love also meeting people in person that I've played on records with, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool that we musically met and now we meet in person. That's actually the best way to meet people, especially sometimes like people like celebrities, like when you or like people from your record collection, to meet them first by actually working with them, and then hey, I'm Fernando, we played on together. That's pretty cool, and when we finally meet, it's gonna be pretty awesome because we've already worked so much, and now we've hung out as virtually.
Yeah,
very
I think
cool.
one of the things we're getting ready to do, we've spent 2 years producing this music and pushing things, and we're currently in 139 countries on all 7 continents, and as we go out in 2023 in the spring, if we book up a show out in your area or somewhere you're at, then Fernando, I would be calling him and saying, you want to join us on stage as the guitar player. That's a beautiful thing about what the Bootleggers concept is all I got to do is go somewhere, and I should have a drummer, a guitar player, a bass player, somebody we've worked with. And we've been doing it here locally in Cincinnati. So I've got Roger Tiny Coors on stage as a bass player. If he can't show up, we have Steve Schmidt, Larry Walbrecht on the drums. If I go to LA and Larry can't come and I need a drummer, I got Fernando, and then you can line up the rest of the group that would play that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so it's almost like a global, because I tell everybody we're not a band. It's a global collaborative, and wherever I show up, we should be able to play music, and you've played the tracks, so you've already played them.
Yeah.
So now you just released, and you sent me that, and I put that on our Spotify. You just released a new track. Tell me about that track.
Well, no, I just started a new project with a guy named Michael Collins, who's a drummer here in LA. It's called Broken Sound, and we actually have a first show tomorrow. Actually, no, not that's actually no, it's Saturday here in Los Angeles, and that's a really cool project. I'm also currently still promoting an album I put out this year called Jangle, which is all 12-string guitar, and I don't know, I got a few projects, but Broken Sound was the last thing that I did, which is actually I've been really obsessed with these it's called a Fender Bass 6, which is a it's a combination of a bass and a guitar, and the Beatles
cool.
used it. Also the instrument that you hear on the solo for Glenn Campbell's Wichita Lineman, and it's a beautiful instrument. And what's really cool is with just bass 6 and drums, you can get a really full sound. So on the track, there's no guitars; it's just bass bass, six, and drums, which is
Are
really
you-
nice.
Let me ask you this, man, not to put you on the spot, and it's okay if you can. Is a possibility for you to play us a little, jam a little bit on that? Are you set up to be able to jam a little bit on that?
Yeah.
I'm
Give me
sorry.
1 second. Let me.
I tell you what, while you
sure.
do that, let me play a track that's going to go 426 that you actually played on. If you remember it, the track is called "Everything Is I Am," and you laid down. It's the Spanish guitar that you played on this is just off the chart, dude. I got people going nuts over it. And the song's actually doing very well. We cut that. I think I sent you the masters. We cut that in both English and Spanish, and it's doing really well. So I'm going to spin that real quick, and me and Fernando will be back in 426, and we're going to see if you can jam up some tunes for us here real quick. So hang tight. This is Everything I Am. This is the English version I'm going to play.
My Lord is everything. Everything is I am. He has a love for me, so hard to understand. He's always by my side, lays with me every night. My Lord is everything. Everything is I am. Placed me in the womb, put me in my mother's arms. Yeah, he's held me so close, so tight, throughout all my storms. My Lord is everywhere, beyond what human eyes can see. He's made me everything. Everything is I am. I am is everything. Everything is I am. His devotion to me is shown by those scars on his hands, and I will rise someday because he shed his blood. My Lord is everything. Everything is I am. I am is everything. Everything is I am. His devotion to me is shown by those scars on his hands, and I will rise someday because he shed his blood. My Lord is everything, everything is I am. My Lord is everything, everything is I am.
And that lovely guitar on there was the gentleman, musician, and the magician, as far as I'm concerned, Fernando. Just an amazing what you did to that song. Well, in the Spanish, we released that in English and Spanish, and I'm not sure if you know, we actually released a song earlier in the year called "Jesus Is to Be Praised," Fernando. We released that in 7 languages: English, Spanish, French, Italian, Serbian, Turkish, and Hebrew. And that thing went off, and then we just decided we're going to start releasing everything in everything we can in multi languages, because it just it widens the audience.
That expands your that expands the wingspan. You know, that's a great idea. That's a really great idea.
Yeah, it has worked for us, just like the multi-genre stuff. I know that you've played on so many of our tracks that you've seen. I mean, we got blues, we got jazz, we got this, we got Christian music, which is our foundation is For the Love of God, one tune at a time. But you know, God likes the blues too.
Great song title.
God loves the blues too, my brother.
That's happened.
Yeah, well, let's write that then. We'll write that because it is the truth. So I've got Fernando Perdomo on line with me right now, and he's actually going to jam some stuff out on his 6-string. What is that again?
Well, it's called the Bass 6, and basically it's there's baritone guitar, which takes the guitar down to B. This is basically an octave down on all 6 strings. So the cool thing is you can play bass, you know, and you could also play chords.
Okay. Hey, Fernando, you're spiking and then it cuts out. I don't know if that's an adjustment, if that's because of the internet or if it's if the mic is spiking.
How about now?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, better.
But it's mostly known as the instrument. It was used on a lot of like spaghetti western, as for Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell. And I've been using it a lot, and it's the main instrument of this huge project I have called Broken Sound. But I'm going to play a song of mine.
Okay.
Singer-songwriter. I've been a singer-songwriter for a long time now, but funny enough, like I spent years trying to get a record deal as a singer-songwriter, and I finally ended up getting a record deal as an instrumental music. So I kind of shut up, and people started listening. But this is a song that I'm pretty well. Here's a song I'm pretty well known for called Home. No, I won't go. Please don't you take my home. I'm far all alone. And please don't you take my home. Home, home is wherever you are. Home can be out in the stars. Home can be Venus or Mars. Home can be broken or safe. And even if I lose my home, it will be standing tall. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, home will be there in my mind. Oh, oh, heart versus the wrecking ball. Please don't you take my home. Bank man, you can take it all, but please don't you take my home. Home, home is wherever you are. Home can be out in the stars. Home can be Venus or Mars. Home can be broken or safe. And even if I lose my home, it will be standing tall. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, home will be there in my mind. Oh, I'm home. Home, oh, home. Home, home is wherever you are. Home can be out in the stars. Home can be Venus or Mars. Home can be broken or safe. And even if I lose my home, it will be standing tall. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, home will be there in my mind. Oh, I'm home.
Dude, that is awesome, man. That is awesome. That is, yeah, that is a very, very cool song. Thank you for that, man. That is crazy.
My pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. So what this project that you're working on, is that something that will be coming out soon? Is that
Out called She Likes Running, and we're actually gonna put out a new single tomorrow called Away From Me.
okay?
And yeah, got to work on a video for that today, so
Okay,
it's all good. And I've got tomorrow, and then I've got the show on Saturday, so it's all good.
Man, you're just busy, man. Yeah, I just I tell you, the thing that is really crazy, as busy as you are, and we're very appreciative. You have an incredibly fast turn, so you just like to get it done, man. You get stuff done fast, like and One Bad Day Away. We've got the one you just played on. One Bad Day Away is it was supposed to be released on the 5th, and I had a problem with the master, so I had to pull it down, and then so it should be out by tomorrow. But you just crush that thing for me, man. I was actually shocked, because I think you said, yeah, you could do it at like 6 in the morning my time. So I think it was like 3 in the morning your time. So I definitely appreciate that. But man, so I would like to ask you, for especially young artists out there, what kind of advice can you give somebody that's starting out? I mean, the music, it's changed so much. Do you need a deal? Do they need a deal? Do they need to be going? I've got a couple of young artists that are based out of Nashville coming on here soon, and I'm not sure if these people are, but so often, as I did when I was 25, 26 years old, I went down to Nashville, and it cost me an exorbitant amount of money,
Yeah.
and exorbitant, and you know what that means. And
yeah, of course.
And I watched. I that's when I came to the analogy that I was a piece of beef. And you know, I did stand-up comedy for 17 years, so I already knew the game, but I didn't really realize just how brutal it was. And today I get asked a lot by young artists, you know, they got to get a deal, they got to get a deal. You know, Fernando, do they got to get a deal? I think I lost you.
No, sorry. I actually had a little power outage.
Oh, okay.
Hey, there you are.
Okay.
All right, here. Sorry, yeah, I had to get off the Wi-Fi. Yeah, no, keep on going.
Okay, yeah. Did you hear my question? These young artists so many times think they have to get a deal, so then they end up going to wherever it is, LA, you know, but I'm talking about two individuals that I know that are down in Nashville trying to get a deal. And it, you know, in conversation, I'm not sure what they're spending, but man, they're spending an exorbitant amount of money that could probably be better invested. I just don't think you have to have a deal.
I'll give you a 1 minute answer that's going to give you the answers to every question you asked. Number one, why are we doing this? Well, obviously, I made a career out of it, but honestly, that's kind of a side effect of what I do.
Right.
Really, to be honest, I make music for myself, and I tell everybody, make music for yourself. If it provides any money, and if anybody likes it and anybody buys your records, it's just a side effect. It's just an unintended side effect of what you do, which is make music for yourself, to make yourself happy, to make your soul happy, and to fill your heart with joy.
There you go.
As far as getting signed these days, I had a bunch of people. I had a very depressing 2000s where 3 projects I worked with got signed, and all 3 of them had the same outcome. You know, Napster really snuffed out the record labels, and they were operating. Welcome to the hotel. Hey, is that smoke up there? No, don't ever mind the smoke. Don't. Is that fire? No, don't mind the smoke, the fire. You know, really, people have not been able to successfully sell music for years now. Even these big artists that you see out there, the Taylor Swifts and the Demi Lovatos, they're still making most of their income from touring. They're still making most of their income from licensing and from all sorts of other things. When it comes to records, it's still a struggle.
Right.
So, you know, I would say put your music out using DistroKid. There's a new one called Symphony. These companies that could put out your music, it's the same amount of distribution. You know, I've had a lot of friends that were on record labels back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s and 70s even, that, you know, the minute that the record labels dropped them, they were like, I guess we should break up. Why are we going to go our music out of our cars? Well, these days, distribution is the easiest it's ever been. Because, you know, back then, it's like you put out a song, you know, you burned your own CDs, you made your own CD disc makers. Getting them to Croatia literally meant sending them to Croatia. But now a kid in Croatia can listen to your music on Spotify and on Amazon and on Apple Music. You know, literally, we could create a song right now, put it on Bandcamp, and a kid in Croatia could download it within the hour.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's the only problem is we're now one of millions of artists that are trying to get those ears in Croatia.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you set your expectations to a sensible place and say, this is my best piece of advice. A song is only as old as its newest pair of ears.
Right.
Because I still
love that.
Well, no, I still get amazing emails from people. Hey, that song you put out back in 2006 helped me go through this. I just discovered it. I can't believe this song hasn't been in my life all this time. You know, that's really the glory of music, is that, you know, I worked with an artist named Linda Perhax, who she put out an album in 1970 called Parallelograms that sold about 50 copies. Well, one of those copies ended up in the hands of a guy named Michael Piper, who had a reissue label called Wild Things, and he put the album out. Next thing you know, people like Beck, Devendra Banhart, Animal Collective, Opeth, they were all praising this woman who was missing. Well, it turns out she was a hygienist in Woodland Hills for the last 40 years. I found her when I first moved here, and it turned out that my original studio location in Reseda was ideal for her. Well, we made our first record in 45 years, and it was her second album, 45 years after her first. But that all happened because people discovered this 40-year-old album and made it their own, and all championed it. So you never know, because well, perfect example, this year the biggest song was Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, recorded and released in 1985, and was officially the biggest song of 2022. Why? Because Stranger Things decided to put it in their closing their season ending scene. So, you know, it's amazing the power of licensing. It's amazing the power of repurposing.
Right.
Because look, you know, it's been retired for years now.
Yeah, and again, it seems to be, since I started doing these interviews with people that have been on the Bootleggers projects and stuff. It's a recurring theme, especially with the and I'm not saying older in age, but the more seasoned people that have been around a long time. Is, you know, you put your music out, and that's what I tell. I'm putting it out. I write it for me. I put it out. If it hits somebody, great. But the cool thing is, you know, when I record, Fernando, I literally keep in my DAW, I have a complete catalog of the song from scratch all the way to all the stems. And if my granddaughter, who is now 4 years old, well, I've got three granddaughters, 4 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, if they ever want to sing my song, all they have to do is open the DAW and they sing it. And that's why I started this project, was for my kids and stuff like that. Like you said, that's great advice that you gave. You know, you put it out there and it's forever. I actually came across my first album that I did in 1996 down in Nashville. About a month and a half ago, I found the DAT and I'm getting ready to release songs that I did in 1995.
Hey man, you know what? Music is forever, and it doesn't. You know, I still got my first album up on Bandcamp, and you know, I still really couldn't know how to sing, so you know, I don't care. I mean, it's like, if somebody likes it, great. If somebody doesn't, skip. You know, when it comes down to it. So people, you know, people say, "Oh, well, you know, leave a pretty body or whatever." Like, I don't know. Like, I say, leave a good discography, because you know what? That's what's going to be, that this music's going to outlive us all, and you got to make sure your music is available. If not, you might get forgotten. You know, if the poets never wrote down their poems, they'd be forgotten.
Right.
You know, if Beethoven never wrote down his music, he'd be forgotten.
Right. You know? It's really crazy, man. I mean, I'm a big Andy Griffith freak, and I watch Andy Griffith every single day, and that is not an exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration. Ron Howard is 5 years old to 7 years old forever to me. You know, I mean, it's something that's there. It'll always be there. And that's the neat part about music. I want to be very respectful of your time, because you've been so considerate to me. And I know you've got a client coming in roughly 10 minutes here. And but is there anything else you want to, you know, plug the studio, plug to our, you know, we're, like you said, distribution today, and and that's what I've worked on over the past 2 years is, you know, we're in 139 countries on all 7 continents. We have people in LA, we have people everywhere. And so I would like them to know, you know, contact, how can people get in contact with your studios and yourself if they want to, you know, if they have a vision and they want to put it in the hands of the master?
Well, just look up Stairway Studios, look up Fernando Perdomo, fernandoperdomo.com, Stairway Studios LA, on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know, just look me up. You'll find me.
And what I'll do, Fernando, I've got several of your links on the website. I will put on your bio that we have. If you'll shoot me over the links, I will add those to that. So you can always go to bootleggersmusicgroup.com and go to Meet the Bootleggers and scroll down, see Fernando. Read up a little bit, go and do those things. And I'm as always, I am going to do this. If you enjoy Fernando's music and you love Fernando's music, whether you're on a streaming platform or not, go and buy his music. And because like he said, Napster was the death of it all. And the streaming services are not doing us any favors other than providing the platform for you to listen, and but he has the platform you can listen. You can go to his website and make a purchase and support this magical man who has been so important to us and in my life, that's for sure. So if you'll just send me those links, man, I mean it. I'm telling you, there's every single person has their place in what they've done with us. But you were definitely an inspiration to me, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, man, have a wonderful day, and looking forward to the next collaboration.
Yeah, we've got we're going to start cutting in January, like I told you, and we've got a bunch of. We're going to concentrate on blues and some rock this year. As you know, we're multi-genre, and I am. Decided, and I would love to get your opinion of this off air, but we're gonna do some jazz Christian.
That's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to spread the word.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, Fernando, I really do appreciate you. Love you, man. And have a great day. Have a great session. And we will talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, brother. Have a wonderful day.
All right. You too, buddy. Thank you much.
What you've been listening to is my interview with Fernando Perdomo, all the way from LA. And let me tell you this, make sure you tune in live 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time every morning, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can stream from our website, bootleggersmusicgroup.com, or you can download the app. Make sure you check the schedule, go to the website, drop down on the menu, look at the schedule of the upcoming shows, and tune in. And yes, you too could be a guest. You got something you want to share? Just send me an email at bootleggersmusicgroup@gmail.com. Again, thanks for all your support. God bless you. And we're just sitting here making music for the love of God, one tune at a time.